I thought we learned this last year. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Ramble video. Today, we get to talk about DA, DeAndre Ayton, because it seems like after last season, Blazer fans didn't learn. At least some Blazer fans. You know, I like talking about narratives and stuff I see on Twitter and stuff that this Blazer fan base has to offer, and this is just going to be another one of those videos. You know, shout out to you if you don't want to trade a freaking lottery pick from DeAndre Ayton, because last year there was a ton of Blazer fans who wanted to trade a lottery pick for DeAndre Ayton. Thank goodness we didn't trade Shaedon Sharpe for DeAndre Ayton, right? I thought that would be consensus. I thought every Blazer fan would be sitting here like, oh, after DA laid an absolute egg in the second round, after Ayton completely folded in the second round, seemed like he emotionally quit on his team in the second round. Thank goodness we have this future star in Shaedon Sharpe instead of DeAndre Ayton. I thought that every Blazer fan would realize, okay, well, actually trading a lottery pick for this guy is not worth it. And his max contract is not worth it either. But it still seems like some Blazer fans really want DeAndre Ayton. Some even want to trade a lottery pick for DeAndre Ayton. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how baffled I am that some fans want to trade a lottery pick for him. I'm also going to talk about just trades for him in general that don't include a lottery pick. And I'm going to talk a little bit about him, I'm going to talk a little bit about Jusuf Nurkic, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the whole conundrum with fans who hate Jusuf Nurkic, but want centers who they would also hate. Because it makes no sense. Anyway, leave a like on this video, it helps me out, I greatly appreciate it. And you can subscribe as well. Click that red subscribe button down below if it's red. If it's gray, I think, then you're subscribed. I forget how YouTube works. Anyway, we have a draft lottery live stream. We're going to be live reacting to the draft lottery on Tuesday. So don't miss it. The lottery starts at 5. The stream, the plan is to start at 4:30. So hopefully you can be there and you can live through the elation or the depression with us. Anyway, let's jump into this video. I'm really baffled as to if fans who are super confident in other centers actually watch these other centers. Because DeAndre Ayton proved in this year's playoffs that he's not worth a max contract. I already didn't think he was worth one when he signed it last offseason. But he absolutely let the Phoenix Suns down this postseason. He was supposed to be the third best player on the court next to Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And with those two guys next to him, he should have feasted. He should have went off. Those two guys drawing all the attention that they do as two superstars, because at this point you have to consider Devin Booker a superstar after the way he played in this year's postseason. Two superstars next to him. I mean, Ayton kind of disappeared. He got benched in crunch time for Jock freaking Landale. Okay? Jock Landale's on a minimum contract. Like $2 million a year. $2 million this year. DeAndre Ayton's being paid like $32, $33 million, I forget, something like that. And he's being benched for Jock Landale in crunch time and pouting about it on the bench. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sure you can find the clip. As you know with these Ramble videos, I barely edit them. So go look it up. He was pouting. He was upset that he got benched in crunch time for Jock freaking Landale. Booker and KD were on him during the series. There was a clip where he just left the huddle because he didn't want to hear what Devin Booker was having to say to him. And this was after a play where Ayton didn't run down on offense at all, where he just watched the offensive play from the other side of the court. Like, DeAndre Ayton, I don't know what's going on with him, but yeah, he kind of mentally folded in this year's postseason. There was a couple of plays where he could have had a dunk if he just went up strong with all his athleticism and strength. You know, he's a human specimen, and he went up soft and bricked layups. Like, the reason I want to make this video is because for all the people that hate Jusuf Nurkic for going up soft around the rim and for his attitude, DeAndre Ayton is extremely similar, okay? Nurkic actually does a better job taking the ball at least to the rim than DeAndre Ayton does. Ayton has better finishing numbers, and all the fans that clamor for DeAndre Ayton in a Blazer uniform say, oh, well, look, he shot 75% at the rim. But he doesn't shoot as many shots at the rim as Jusuf Nurkic does. Ayton settles for all these like 5 to 15 foot push shots and mid-range and all these soft finesse shots that he's not that efficient on whatsoever. He doesn't really go up strong around the rim. The reason why he finishes so well is because he pretty much only shoots open shots around the rim. Basically dump off passes where he has a wide open dunk. Plays like that. Okay? He doesn't really take the ball at defenders to try and get to the rim. And that's a big problem with Jusuf Nurkic. But supposedly the solution is DeAndre Ayton because he shoots 75% at the rim. Okay, but everyone that wants DeAndre Ayton misses this context. And this is where I wonder how many of these people that want DeAndre Ayton in a Blazer uniform actually have watched DeAndre Ayton in a Suns uniform. You can't just look at finishing numbers and determine how strong of a finisher a player is. Because if they're not taking the ball to the rim and they're just shooting 10-foot mid-range jumpers instead of maybe trying to take the ball to the rim, their rim finishing numbers are going to be better because they're not taking the difficult opportunities to try and get to the rim. They're only taking the easy ones. So their percentages will look better. They'll look like a strong finisher. But that's not the case. You have to look at the percentage of a player's shots at the rim and at the mid-range, and then you got to actually freaking watch them. DeAndre Ayton is, in my opinion, kind of a soft player. Mentally and on the court as well. And it's just funny because I know Jusuf Nurkic is a controversial topic, and this isn't to excuse any of Nurkic's flaws or be an apologist for Jusuf Nurkic whatsoever. It's just funny to me because for the criticisms that Nurkic gets, all of them should also be applied to DeAndre Ayton. But all the people that want DeAndre Ayton, it's because he's an upgrade and a fix for the center spot. It makes no sense. As Blazer fans, we have to stop begging for dudes that are soft mentally. We gotta stop assuming that Damian Lillard, because this is an argument I hear a lot, Damian Lillard can fix this guy. Damian Lillard can fix that guy. Who has been brought in to this Portland Trailblazers team that has been soft or weak mentally that Damian Lillard has fixed? It's baffling to me that we expect Damian Lillard to be a psychiatrist. Makes no sense. What player has been brought in and gotten fixed? I mean, maybe I'm forgetting someone. Let me know down in the comment section below. But, like, we gotta stop begging for reclamation projects. Whether it's they haven't been good on the court, but they look good as a prospect 4 years ago, so maybe we can get something out of them. I.e. Cam Reddish, Mario Hezonja. Like, we can go back through the years. Thomas Robinson. It seems like a big part of this fan base, at least, gets super excited at the thought of reclamation projects that were high draft picks, okay? Ben Simmons. Dame can fix him. Dame can fix him. Look at what's happened to Ben Simmons. Now he's one of the worst contracts in the league. Me and Eric were not on board the Ben Simmons train, and a ton of people disagreed with us. And I get it with Ben Simmons because, like, at least at the time, he was a really, really good defender. Okay? At least he had that. So that part made sense. That's more than Ayton. Okay? Like, Ayton's an overrated defender. Like, at least Ben Simmons was a good defender. But still, Ben Simmons was obviously weak mentally. He folded in the postseason. His last postseason that he ever played for Philadelphia. I mean, Trae Young intimidated him as a rim protector. That's how messed up mentally Ben Simmons was in that series. But then the arguments come like, oh, well, this is the lowest his value will ever be. You can buy low on him. And then once you rehabilitate him, once Dame fixes him, then you got a really good player that you barely gave up anything for. Like, I kind of understand that argument, but when players show you their true colors, it's usually when adversity hits in the playoffs. So adversity hits in the playoffs for Ben Simmons in that Hawks series that the Sixers lost. And where has he gone since then? Now he's like, he didn't finish the year and he's just a bad NBA player now. He was not good this year. Okay? DeAndre Ayton, I believe, showed you his true colors in that postseason series against the Denver Nuggets. I think that's who DeAndre Ayton is. I think he's a guy that struggles with adversity mentally, and when things get tough, when he doesn't have his way, maybe when he's not getting his touches, then he pouts, then his production suffers, and then he plays soft. He doesn't take the ball strong to the rim, and it's not like he can really pass or dribble or shoot. So then what is he? Yes, he can finish a hook shot at a decent clip and put up points that way, but he's not a max caliber player, okay? Even when he's playing well, he's still not a max caliber player. You don't want to pay a center a max contract or anything more than what Yusuf Nurkic is getting, in my opinion, unless they're an elite top 5 center. Unless you're talking about Bam Adebayo, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid. Okay, the Rudy Gobert contract looks kind of bad right now, and he was a defensive player of the year caliber guy in Utah, right? So even he is backfired. DeAndre Ayton's not worth a max contract. We have to stop begging for players that don't handle adversity well, that fold when the going gets tough. Because I feel like this Blazer team has kind of had a little bit of that makeup the past couple of years. Not to the extent of a DeAndre Ayton or anything, but this Blazer team hasn't had enough of an edge. You don't get an edge by trading for DeAndre Ayton. I would much rather have Yusuf Nurkic making $16 million a year than DeAndre Ayton making twice as much. And at this point, with how Ayton played, you could make an argument that they're the same caliber player. So why in the world would the Blazers, whose two biggest needs, I did a video on this, two biggest needs are defense and rebounding, trade for a guy at the center spot making $32 million with our cheap owner, Jody Allen. We're going to trade. It'd have to be Yusuf Nurkic, Nasir Little, Kevin Knox, Keon Johnson. Even if we don't throw in a pick, that just makes it harder to work around the budget in order to actually fix the areas that we need fixed. And DeAndre Ayton doesn't help improve the defense or the rebounding over Yusuf Nurkic. DeAndre Ayton's a very overrated defensive player, in my opinion. He's okay. He's solid. I think Yusuf Nurkic is solid as well, but Yusuf Nurkic looks slow, so he can't be good. Never mind the fact that he's constantly in the right position when helping. He rotates quickly. He sees things quickly on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not making the argument that Yusuf Nurkic is good defensively, but I'm not making the argument that DeAndre Ayton is good defensively. I think they're both okay. They're both solid. Whatever. If Ayton's slightly better, he's not going to fix the defense, because the problem with the defense is they give up the most shots at the rim because they can't contain dribble penetration. DeAndre Ayton's not going to fix that. Sure, you could play him up at the level of the screen a little bit more, but if we can't rotate behind that, which has been a problem, then that's going to get picked apart anyway. So I feel like there's a lot of people that have gotten completely misguided, and they love the idea of DeAndre Ayton. The idea of DeAndre Ayton is what got him drafted over Luka Doncic. So if anything should show you that idea is wrong, he got drafted over Luka because of the idea of DeAndre Ayton. The idea was that he would be physically dominant and skilled. And he hasn't really turned out to be either. So it just baffles me that fans, I seriously still see Blazer fans that want to trade a lottery pick for DeAndre Ayton. One of our best assets for DeAndre Ayton, which doesn't really help our rebounding or our defense, doesn't fill the hole at a starting forward spot, doesn't help our depth, doesn't accomplish anything at all. But some fans still want to trade a lottery pick for him, or some fans want to trade a future first for him. Here's the thing. You don't have to want to keep the lottery pick, but that doesn't mean you just trade it for anything. Trade it for the right piece. Trade it for something that'll help the Blazers defense, help the Blazers rebounding. Somebody who could be a starting forward, preferably a 3-and-D guy. If you're saying, trade a future first for Dorian Finney-Smith, I understand it because, okay, he's a 3-and-D guy. And he's been a really good role player in playoffs before and, stepped up and had some big playoff moments. And he's only being paid $13 million. For a player of that caliber, yeah, that's all right. Yeah, sure, I can understand that. A first-round pick or any sort of value for DeAndre Ayton, even if you don't trade a first-round pick, just taking on that freaking contract, not solving anything, and then making the budget even tighter, making it harder to solve the areas which this team actually needs to solve, makes absolutely no sense. And I thought we would move on after the people and the podcast that were pitching the idea of signing, trading Nurkic in the lottery pick somehow, which doesn't even make sense, for DeAndre Ayton. I thought the people that, after the season Shaedon Sharpe had and the season that DeAndre Ayton had, especially the postseason DeAndre Ayton had, I thought that people would realize that that was a bad idea. But now they're doubling down on it. At least some of them are. And it makes no sense. So let me know what you think about the DeAndre Ayton trade rumors. It's not really rumors, but the DeAndre Ayton trade ideas that this fan base seems to have. Do you want DeAndre Ayton? Can you make an argument for DeAndre Ayton? I feel like I can already read it out. He's a better defender, and he's 24 years old, despite the fact that he hasn't improved the past 4 years. He's a better defender, and he's 24 years old, so he can still get better, and he finishes at 75% at the rim, which that type of comment just shows you didn't pay attention to any of my comments about his finishing at the rim or whatever. That seems to be how this thing goes with YouTube comments. Anyway, I'm rambling, but that's what this video is. This is what you signed up for. You guys know how these videos go. So anyway, thank you for watching. Catch you in the lottery stream. Let me know what you think of whatever I talked about down in the comment section below. With that being said, I am out of here. I'll catch you next time. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.